Language is a very complex topic. It's more than just words we speak, more than just we utter. In fact, even language has its own life cycle. It can be born, and yes, it can even die. Can you imagine that? A language gone in existence. Just like that. I'm Julhamri K. Karon, your third reporter from the third group. And today we're going to deep dive into this fascinating yet alarming topic. We'll also explore how gender and identity shape the way we speak. So let's open our minds and see how language reflects not only our culture but power, change, and survival. Language shift happens when a group of people slowly stop using their native language and starts using another one. Usually one because that other language is more dominant or more useful in society. Now, how can a language die? Language death is what happens when that original language is completely lost, gone forever. No one speaks it anymore, or not even as a first language. It's like the language has gone extinct, like a forgotten culture. That is language shift and language death. Now, we all know that everything, event, or scenario has a cause. So, what causes the language shift? Number one, economic and occupational factors. What does it say? People tend to choose language that give them better chances in life, like getting jobs, doing business, or moving up in a society or in a country. That's why many shift to global languages like English or Mandarin. That's the first reason of language shift. Number two, education. Most schools focus on national or international languages. This means children grow up learning those while their own native language is pushed aside and slowly fades away. That's number two reason. Number three, urbanization and migration. When families move to cities or other countries, they adapt to the new environment. The more they use dominant language around them, the less they use their original one, just like the first reason. Number four, government policies. Some countries create laws that favor one official language. When this happens, minority languages are ignored or discouraged, and people stop using them publicly or even privately. And last but not least, media and technology. TV shows, social media, and internet are mostly in dominant languages. People get used to hearing and speaking those, which makes them forget or ignore their local languages. If all things have cause and so consequences. Now, what are the consequences of language shift? The first one, cultural erosion. When a language disappears, so do the stories, beliefs, and traditional wisdoms behind it and connected to it. Language is a carrier of culture. Number two, loss of identity. Language helps people feel a sense of belonging. When it's gone, communities may feel disconnected from who they really are. Number three, linguistics homogenization. The world becomes more same. If everyone speaks the same few languages, we lost the beauty and richness of linguistics diversity. Let us move into the types of language death. Number one, gradual death. This is slow. Younger people stop learning the language. and it eventually fades away across generations and time, slowly and gradual death. Number two, sudden death happens fast. A war, genocide, or natural disaster wipes out the speakers before the language can even be passed on. So this is the opposite on the first one. The first one is gradual death, slow. Number two is sudden death, fast. And number three, bottom to top death. The language disappears from daily life but stays alive in a certain formal setting, like religious rituals or ceremonies. Latin is an example, or Aramaic Greek also is an example. Number four, top to bottom death. Opposite of the previous one. The language is no longer used in official situations but still survives informally between some speakers. For example, Manx, Isle of Man, was once dead in daily use but is now being revived by efforts of the community. Aita or Aita languages. This is in the Philippines, slowly dying due to the strong influence of Filipino or Tagalog. Native American languages, very endangered, especially because of historical suppression of English dominance. Let us move now in language and gender definition. Language and gender looks at how people use language based on their gender identity. It also studies how language reflects society's ideas about gender roles and expectations. Men, women, and gender diverse individuals may speak differently because of they were raised or the roles society gives them. Key theories and approaches. Number one, deficit model. This theory says that women's language is seen as weaker, using softer expressions like sort of, tag questions like right, and more polite forms. It shows how women were trained to speak less directly. Number two, dominance model. Focuses on power. It says that men usually dominate conversations. They interrupt more, talk longer, and control topics. It reflects how gender power works in society. Number three, difference model. This view says men and women don't speak differently because of power, but because of how they were raised. Men use report talk, more about facts and status, and women use rapport talk, more about connections, feelings, and emotion. And number four, social constructionist approach. This modern idea says that gender is not fixed. It's something we perform through language. How we speak shows our gender identity, and we can change it based on context. Now, this is the features of gendered language. Women's speech, more supportive, polite, and expressive, often uses correct grammar and pronunciation, encourages connection during conversations. That's so typical of a woman. Men's speech, more direct and assertive, tends to compete or dominate in mixed conversations, and interrupts more and listens less actively. Gendered language in society. Media representation. Men are often called strong or leaders, while women get labeled as bossy for the same traits. This shows bias in how we use language. Occupational disparities. Job titles reflect gender biases. For example, chairman sounds male, but chairperson is neutral. Language shapes how we think of roles. LGBT, LGBTQ plus communities, people who are non-binary or transgender often challenge gendered language. That's why gender neutral pronouns like they, them, or um, what's this? Z here as part of inclusive language evolution to create space for all identities. Now, and let's move to cross-cultural perspective. Different cultures use gendered language in different ways. In Japanese, men and women have different ways of ending sentences or showing respect. In Tagalog, pronouns are gender neutral, like siya, not her or him, but siya. But people still expect certain speech styles based on gender roles. In conclusion, language shift, language death, and gendered language all show how deeply connected language is to culture, identity, and power. Language is not just about words, it reflects who we are and the world we live in. Understanding these topics helps us protect endangered language and promote more inclusive communication in a changing society. That's all. Thank you so much.